How's it going, YouTube? Brian Cusco here at Triple B. Today's guest is my buddy, Mr. Forrest Fanning, and I went to go see him in Florida, and we went to visit the Dragonwood Conservancy, which is an amazing place that works with crocodilians and is working on reintroducing species into the wild, populations that have been devastated by human action, and it's just an interesting one. It's great to hear Forrest talk all the ways from me, and I think a lot of other people enjoy to hear him speak as well, and we'll get to take a look at some cool animals, and I'm already rambling longer than I want to. You're watching Triple B CV. Hi, Forrest.
Hi.
So, where are we and what are we doing here?
All right, so we are in Eustis, Florida on the 400-acre property of Dragonwood Conservancy. And I've been involved with this organization for about a decade. I got involved after meeting the founder, Terry, out at Robbie's place where I was volunteering. We went out to Robbie Kesey's farm, Glades Herp. So I had been volunteering, wanting to get into crocodiles and getting into conservation. At that time, I was mainly into just ball pythons and green tree pythons, but it sounded really cool. I wanted to volunteer and get involved in conservation. So I came out here and drove onto the property and just kind of just changed my life forever.
What is the goal of Dragonwood Conservancy?
All right. So the goal of Dragonwood Conservancy is to establish healthy captive populations of endangered and threatened reptiles in captivity for both breeding purposes, for having genetic banks in captivity, as well as for education, and hopefully someday in certain situations, reintroduction. So, you know, research, breeding, education, those are the three main things that we're focused on here. And this place has been around longer than me, and it's pretty amazing what they've been able to accomplish so far, and we have some big dreams for the future.
Awesome, man.
Yep.
Do you think we can actually hold some of the species while we're talking about? Is that a bad idea?
Absolutely,
We
yeah.
don't have to.
Yeah. So this is the purpose of this place right here. So both these animals were produced in captivity. That's actually a hatchling last year from September. So that's a Siamese crocodile. It's a critically endangered animal. These guys are still somewhat functioning populations in Cambodia and a few other places, but for the most part, they're wiped out in the wild. And due to hard work from this facility and a few others, they have a healthy population in captivity. And so the goal is to get enough genetic diversity in captivity, and then put some of them back in the wild. Yep. So make sure we have a healthy genetic group of animals in captivity at all times, and then also be doing as much in situ conservation as we can as well. So trying to raise them in their natural environment, release them in their natural environment, all that stuff, it all blends together. So it's not all about captivity. Places like this, our goal isn't just for us to have everything here and only here. Our goal is to have things here and learn and breed and have that genetic stock, but then also educate people and fund efforts in situ or actually where they're found out in the wild.
And repopulate populations that have been devastated by human action.
Yep, and educate them on why they've been devastated by human action. A lot of that is avoidable. A lot of it is from outdated agricultural practices or folklore, traditional medicine, things like that. So we've got to all work together to try to, solve this problem. The Siamese we've done a pretty good job with, but this is the Orinoco crocodile, and this is, it's unbelievable to even have it in your hands. It's almost kind of nerve-wracking having it in your hands.
That's probably my favorite crocodile, to be honest. It is my favorite crocodile.
It's an amazing species. There's a lot of really cool things about it. Knowing that there could be, as few as 250 left in the wild. I know I keep rambling on about this, but imagine just a few clutches away from saying goodbye. A few clutches away from saying goodbye. I don't ever want to say goodbye. And so what do we got to do? There's like 3 different color phases of these. They did have a pretty decent range. There's different localities and stuff. So for us to be able to go out and get good genetic stock, breed it in captivity, and then work on the areas there with with this species, Crocodilus intermedius, or the species Crocodilus siamensis. Both of these, there's already great conservation efforts underway, but we still need to ramp it up. And one of the big issues that drives me and that got me involved in this, and that really, like, there's a burning forest fire, as we like to say inside of me,
like to say that.
is the challenges that we face in conservation, trying to get animals into captivity and trying to get that genetic bank started. So there's a lot of politics involved and laws involved that are kind of preventing things from moving forward, and a lot of them had good intentions when they were put into place. And so now in modern herpetoculture, we have to work hard to prove ourselves to the powers that be that we're capable of doing conservation efforts on our own. And that's something that I'm really, really passionate about. I mean, that's something that when it's all said and done, I hope I can have an effect on is that right there. Because if we can't be responsible enough with the animals that we have, and if we can't constantly be stepping up what we're doing, whether it be our veterinary practices, whether it be our record-keeping practices, how we manage our bloodlines, how we restrict ourselves from not overproducing for what we actually have space for in captivity, all these are really serious issues if we want to repair the damaged relationship with the powers that be on any federal agencies, as well as the zoo and the private sector. We have this huge gap and this huge feud, and anytime we see a feud like that, it's really, really sad, because it's actually two people right next to each other who have the same love and the same passion that are letting these little things get in the way instead of working together and actually making miracles happen and saving the world.
That's definitely something I really believe in, man. That's
Yeah.
why I love you so much, Rose. I see where you're coming from,
Yeah.
and the passion is there, and I think that you are going to achieve your goals and
Yep.
move forward with what you're trying to achieve here.
Yeah.
I see that happening for you without a doubt.
It means more than anything to me in the world. And I know, my favorite quote is always, the world is ran by the people who show up. And so, hey guys,
You're
we're
showing
here.
up.
Yeah, we're here. So, that's my goal. I was recently out with Phil at USARK, and 10 to 15 of the most powerful people in our industry. And it was people, the biggest breeders, the USARK, Phil was there from USARK, all the different government agencies were there. And to be able to sit down in that tight setting and actually talk about it, and you see that they want it to work too. They're not out to get us. They just, like I said, we have to repair that relationship, and then we have to have the guts to try to put something forward that say, hey, how about this? Because sometimes being willing to just go and build a relationship and try, even though it hasn't happened before because of conflict or different cultural things that happened in the past, if we go out there and we try to do that, we can make this work and we can save all these species. I mean, crocodiles, it's not a huge group of animals species-wise. And so one thing that I think is really important, and one thing that really concerns me about it, is that the zoos and some of the private facilities that matter, they kind of treat some of these animals like they're like a new ball python morph, and they only want them to have them. And so there's the political aspect of that, like, well, we have Chinese alligators, we don't want them to have them too. And that's terrible. I want every facility that has the space and means to do it to be able to keep these. It takes a huge amount of resources and means to keep these animals. However, it's not an impossible dream to think of someday every major city having a zoo with a reptile house where somebody could see every species of crocodile and every species of python. That's not unthinkable with where the world's going. If we can dedicate what we've dedicated to football stadiums and concert halls and things like that, don't you think maybe we could dedicate more to some stuff like this?
Easily, I would say.
I'd say
with
easily.
some hard work, but
Yeah.
based on what you were just saying there, easily it should be. Yeah.
And that's one thing where I really appreciate what you're doing, what a lot of my friends are doing within the content creation part, is showing how amazing these things are. Because if we can show people how amazing they are, then maybe they'll be willing to take that chance or take that leap and not build the football stadium and maybe build a new reptile house at the local zoo. And so there's endless things for us to be excited about. There's also endless things for us to gripe and create division about. I'm not going that route. No way. I know that we can make, our generation in herpetoculture is going to be the most that's an egotistical thing to say, but we're gonna do more in this generation than has ever been done before because of, standing on the shoulders of giants of what came before. But now we have modern technology, we have all these different ways of communicating with people, especially people in like remote parts of the world. So I'm just so excited to be working in conservation, and I love the entire reptile industry. I love all parts of it, but conservation of these rare animals, that's something that gives you purpose.
Absolutely.
And so, I've touched on this before, I think I think it was on Garrett's video about, when you're watching these videos and you're getting excited, don't just be thinking about what animals you can purchase and take home. Be thinking about what you can learn about or what you could travel and see. You don't just have to have a collection in your bedroom and try to breed to sell. This is a big world, herpetoculture. You could be a writer, you could be a veterinarian, you could be a field researcher, you could be a lawyer who could help us figure out those issues. I know I keep hitting on that in videos, but it's like, hey, I know there's people out there watching these videos that could understand that, and maybe they could chase that dream down and help us do that. Because that's the thing right now. I mean, there's been some bad propaganda out there, and the way that the younger generation is looking at zoos is really scary. They're going to zoos, and because of what they've been taught through what I consider propaganda, but it's a different viewpoint. I'm not going to disrespect the viewpoint, but from what they've been taught, they just see animals in cages and they think it's a bad thing. That's what they see zoos. And the zoos at this point are almost at the point of giving up. You'll constantly hear people in our industry just freaking out about the AZA and dealing, having things going on with PETA, but we have to look at it from their perspective that they're losing the battle. So if we don't improve the image, we're all done for. Like, this is something that can't be avoided. So we have to show them that it's not just animals in cages. We have to show them that we're advancing animal husbandry. We have to show them that it's more than just breeding. It's okay that we're doing those things, but let's make sure we shine the spotlight on these things too, so that we don't give those people ammo to think that all we're doing this for is the wrong reasons. And let's help them understand the way these animals work, so that they won't see it as a cruel thing. It's why go around and point fingers? Oh, did you see the way they had that set up, or the way it was crammed in this box or that? Why do you want to go around looking for negativity when you can go around and find positive ways to help people make things better? That's really important to me. And so, I have huge hopes for conservation, and you guys check out Dragonwood Conservancy. Please donate when you can, come out to our events, just get involved any way you can, because, we're gonna do big things here. Our main focuses are crocodilians. We're working with some of the Ep.161, the rare, those rare boas. We're also working with a lot of locality boas, anacondas, but crocodiles are definitely the main focus. Another thing that we worked really hard on here is having fail-safe after fail-safe. I mean, we have tons and tons of temporary enclosures where if there was a collection confiscated, or if there was a natural disaster where several large croc collections in the United States were wiped out, we could set them up here right now. Nice. We literally have that ability to do that. So we've taken in tons of rescues. We've helped a lot of people with all kinds of different emergencies. So it takes a lot to have a facility like this, and we need more facilities like this. So.
Well, I'm gonna help you wherever I can, man.
All right, man. I love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
For sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I think Forrest touched on some really good subjects there, like that I just addressed in my recent vlog that just came out this week as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Next week, we're gonna be talking with James Galbraith at Reptile Gyms, Pythons, and Boas, and that should be good. We'll be back on the Pomona Wreck and Roll track. Until then, you've been watching Triple B TV. Y'all take care.
Same things with, because it takes a lot of means.
Just keep it on him. Just keep it on him. Just keep it as steady as you can.
Yeah, I'd have to Google it. Mesatops? Yeah.
And what is the goal of here, I'm gonna move this over here a little bit. It's gonna be better because you're looking at me a lot. Taki. Yeah, really good stuff. Really excited for everything that's going on with what Forrest is doing. Speak, fool.